Hey, my friend, welcome to Dewey Smith TV. I want to thank you for tuning in today. Do me a favor, if you're watching, I want you to like, subscribe, and send this link to somebody. We had an amazing day. Theme this month is deliverance, and today's message is entitled Pressure with a Purpose. I want you to get the Bible, turn to 2 Corinthians chapter 1. I want to say today's message included conversations about domestic violence. And so I just want to put that out as a disclaimer. I don't want anybody to be triggered with that conversation, but I want you to listen attentively because I think it'll be a blessing for you. And so let's go into the message, Pressure with a Purpose. I'll be back in a second.
I want you to turn to the book of 2 Corinthians. 2 Corinthians and the first chapter of 2 Corinthians. And we have 2 Corinthians chapter 1. For the benefit of brevity, I want you to come to verse number 8 and verse number 9 of 2 Corinthians chapter 1. 2 Corinthians chapter 1, verse 8, King James Version, verse 8. 2 Corinthians chapter 1, verse 8 says this: For we would not, brethren, have you ignorant of our trouble, that we were pressed out of measure, above strength, but we had the sentence of death in ourselves, that we should not trust in ourselves, but in God which raiseth the dead. Read that again. For we would not, brethren, have you ignorant of our trouble. Listen to this, that we were pressed. We were pressed out of measure. We were dealing with pressure. I want to talk for a few moments this morning from this thought: pressure with a purpose. Somebody say pressure with a purpose. Family, I want you to give me a few moments to talk about this. I want to start today. I want to start, but not with us shouting, not with us celebrating, but I want to start this message with honesty. And the honest, transparent introduction this morning is this: life has a way of applying pressure. Pressure in your mind, pressure in your family, pressure in your body, pressure in your finances, pressure on the job, pressure in your responsibilities, pressure from what you expected, and pressure from what you didn't see coming. Life has a way of applying pressure. And what makes pressure so difficult is not just that it exists, it's that sometimes you don't understand why it exists. You prayed, but the pressure stayed. You fasted, and the pressure intensified. You believed God, but instead of things getting easier, they got heavier. I say it again, life has a way of applying pressure. And if we're really transparent today, some of us came here today smiling on the outside, but carrying pressure on the inside. I mean, something that feels like it's about to break you. Life has a way of applying pressure. And here's the tension. Many of us have been taught that if God is with you, everything should go well. Since God is with you, everything should work out. I mean, it will work out for the good of them. Everything should feel good. But what do you do when God is with you and yet it still hurts? What do you do when God is present but the pressure is persistent? Life has a way of applying pressure. And family, this is exactly where we meet St. Paul at the time of this text. Paul says, let me speak to you not from a place of theory, but from my own place of trauma. He says, I don't want you to shout over what I say until you understand who I am and what I've been going through. This is the same Paul who has been beaten multiple times because of his convictions. He's been imprisoned regularly for preaching the gospel. He's been shipwrecked. He's been rejected by the people he tried to help. So this is not a comfortable preacher. This is a wounded apostle dealing with his own personal battles, but he's writing to a complicated church. He's dealing with internal pressure, and the church that he's dealing with is going through pressure, which brings more pressure on him. He's not tweeting encouragement. This is not some motivational post on TikTok. He's testifying from his own experience. He's under pressure, and the church of Corinth is also under pressure. I mean, it was a wealthy church, Corinth was. It was an influential place. They were spiritually gifted, but they were divided, immature, and emotionally unstable. So not only is he dealing with his own internal pressure, but he's dealing with a bunch of crazy folk and their pressures. This was a church that had spiritual gifts, but no discipline, passion, but no consistency, power, but no maturity. They had church, but didn't always have the formation of Christ on the inside of them. And so he has a right to them. He spent time writing a first letter, and that one obviously didn't do any good, so he has to come back and write a second letter to them. From taking time of his own mess and gives a follow-up, a response. He has to defend his ministry. He has to write a deeply personal letter because he's trying to help them, but they question his authority. They criticize his leadership. They've undermined his own credibility, and all he's been doing is trying to speak a word. Let me tell you, sometimes the folk you think would appreciate your word. All you can say is that the world should have peace, and yet you have people in high positions who are trying to call you out of your name and question your authenticity and tell you that you need to know more about theology, and they've never taken one theology class. That's the way life is sometimes when you're trying to pastor and have a moral clarity with people who don't trust and don't support you. And so he's been writing them, and he's writing after some intense personal pressure. Don't just think because he told us that all things work together for good and I can do all things through Christ. Don't just believe that because he wrote us about pressure that he himself was not dealing with it. He says, y'all, I've been under such pressure that it's been out of measure. He says, I want to tell you about my pressure, but it's out of measure. Literally meaning I don't have the right words to convey it. I'm trying to find an algebraic formula or a geometric equation that would give you an ocular demonstration of my pressure, but I can't find one. There's no algorithm that I can share with you to give you insight about the intense level of pressure that I'm under. And he said, it's out of measure. I couldn't put it in a calculator. I couldn't quantify it by alphabets or by words or by number. It's incalculable. He says the pressure is so immense that it's really above my strength. He said, when I deal with the pressure I'm under, my strength has been gone. It's way above my capacity. I can't handle it. That's the kind of pressure I'm under. I know I'm supposed to be the man of God and the man of faith to tell you how to deal with yours. He says, but I'm under such pressure, I can't put it in a calculator. There's no algorithm. There are no words that can help me describe it. He says, but let me tell you the best way I can explain it. The best way I can tell you about this pressure is it's so bad that it has me despairing for life itself. He says it's so bad that I feel like I need to pronounce the death sentence over myself. That I'm going to be the judge and jury and pronounce on my own emotions, you're sentenced to death. He said, I feel like I've sentenced myself to the electric chair. He calls it the sentence of death. Death, he says, death is the only way that I can describe this level of pressure. It is a sentence of death. Somebody has pronounced the death sentence over me. Maybe that would let you understand the levels of pressure I'm under. He says, but get this, please don't just gloss over that because you have not been there, but understand this. I'm not just telling you I didn't just struggle. No, it's not Paul just had a bad day. No, it's not just Paul needs a vacation, needs a nap. Now, let me come. Now, it's not just we need to take Paul to happy hour. Okay, for some others, it's not that Paul just needs to take an edible and calm down. No, Paul is saying, I've reached a point where I don't know if I'm literally going to make it. And this is not surface pressure. This is survival pressure. He said, I want you to get it so you can understand exactly where I am. I'm under pressure like I've never been in my entire life, that I think that death is the next option. He says, but, I need to give you some clarity on that. He says in verse 3 that God is the God of all comfort. So he's not quoting theology. He's reporting what he's experiencing under the pressure. He says, please get this, that I learned about God not as comfort. I learned about God not in ease, not in success, not in comfort, but I learned that God was comfort when I got under pressure. I couldn't even explain this to you. The pressure allowed me to share with you. Crisis allowed me to make sense of this text to you. So just in case you're under pressure, he said, I need to give you a word about this. This is not normal. This is above my strength. It's not manageable. It's beyond me. A woosah, counting backwards from 10, heavy breathing, a massage, reflexology, the sauna, none of that will help me manage what I'm going through. He says, but saints, but what if I told you this pressure is not punishment? He says, what if I told you that this pressure is not proof that God left you, but the evidence that God is working something in you? Because Paul tells us before he went through pressure, he tells us who God is. And so I want to share with you, first of all, number one, that when you're under pressure, pressure can have a purpose. Number one, get this, when you understand this, don't misinterpret your pressure. Somebody say, don't misinterpret your pressure. Don't misinterpret pressure. He says, I got to make sure that I give you the right rubric, the right template for which you can interpret it. He says sometimes your pressure needs somebody who can speak to you in a different way. Your pressure sometimes needs a translator. As you get older, I'm learning that I don't see as clearly as I used to. And so when I'm reading something, the doctor has prescribed me something that I can put on my eyes. I was in a restaurant the other day, and it was so dark, and I couldn't see the menu. And so I turned, looked at my boys, and they saw it clearly. It was dark. I couldn't see it. So I pulled my phone out and turned the light. And then I put the light so I could see what was on the menu, but then I discovered that I fortunately had brought my reading helpers. And so with the light, with my reading helpers, it allowed me to see more clearly. He says, some of you are trying to understand and read the pressure that's on your life's menu. So let me apply some light and give you some reading helpers to help you so you don't misinterpret the pressure. He says, because if you misinterpret the pressure, the problem is that you don't understand, it'll give you a bad revelation and a bad focus. He says, so let me start by giving you some reading helpers. Verse 3, blessed be God. Verse 3, the Father of mercies and the God of all comfort. He says, so before I talk about the pressure, before I give you a whole diatribe and discourse, let me first of all define who God is. Because if you misunderstand God, you're going to misinterpret your situation. You miss what I just said. If you misunderstand God, you will misinterpret the pressure. He says, first of all, God is the God of all comfort. Not some comfort, not occasional comfort, not selective comfort, all comfort. This is why this is important. This is important because God does not always remove pressure, but God will always reveal himself in the pressure. Because here's why that's important. Because some of you have thought, God, if you love me, I wouldn't feel this. But the text says that he's the God of all comfort, which means comfort shows up before trouble showed up. So before the pressure came, the comfort had already been distributed your way. But sometimes you can't see that because your eyes are fixed on the pressure that you misinterpreted. He says, so if you're in this house today and you feel some pressure, great. Because if you feel the pressure, this message is going to teach you that you're in position for revelation. Ooh, I feel your Holy Ghost. I said you're in position for revelation. And sometimes you don't get the revelation until the pressure shows up. So don't misinterpret the pressure. But number two, don't waste your pain. Y'all will help me preach this thing like I feel it? I said don't misinterpret your pressure, but don't waste your pain. He says God is all comfort. He's the one who gives all comfort. So Paul, I don't get it. So if he's the God of all comfort and the Father of mercies and the God of all comfort, that still doesn't, that tells who he is, but what does that have to do with me? He says, here's what it has to do with you. The pressure does something. I said, what does it do, Paul? He says it's in verse 4. Don't miss it. What does it do, Paul? He says that God is the God of all comfort. He's the Father of all mercies. He comforts us in trouble. Wherewith ourselves, we are comforted of God. But then when we are comforted of God, what does it do, Paul? He comforts us that we may be able. Y'all shout it out. That we may be able to comfort them which are in any trouble. Can I break it down for you? What he's saying is that your pain and your pressure is not personal, but your pressure is preparational. He says that we may be able. So the purpose often of the pressure is this, that we may be able. So why am I going through pressure, E. Dewey Smith? That we may be able. Because without the pressure, we be not able. But when the pressure comes, that we may be able. That we may be able to speak, able to reach, able to understand, able to lift, able to grow, able to get stronger, able to be wiser, able to be better, able to get discernment, able to get transformation, able to get power. The pressure, somebody said that we may be able. So here's the revelation. God lets you go through it so you can help somebody else to get through it. The trauma you survive becomes the testimony that you steward. Y'all got to help me. You cried about it, but somebody else is going to be delivered because of it. You almost broke under it, but somebody else is going to be built through it. What nearly destroyed you makes you deputized to deploy you. You got the brakes on, do it. That's why John said in Revelation 12:12 that they overcame the enemy by the blood of the Lamb and by the word of their testimony. In other words, the pressure gave them testimony that gave them power to overcome the enemy. Here's the purpose of your pressure, that we may be able to stand against the wiles of the devil. You ought to be glad right now that what nearly destroyed you has deputized you to be deployed to bring somebody else out of what they're going through. Now I need to say a word here, because some of you, I want to talk to the black men in the house. Too many of us have a sickened pathology and a twisted psychosis that we think that the measure of my manhood is based by my full ability to be calm and my pseudo strength that can allow me to be devolving on the inside but acting calm on the outside. I want to say to all the black men in the house that we live under pressure. 400 years in America, seeing a wives raped, 4 parents, and families stripped and being dehumanized by the man. Pressure. 400 years of pressure that's in our lineage. And so sometimes as a result, we want to be men by showing strength. And the thing that has put us in bondage and captivity has now become the lenses with which we see life and often see our families. Patriarchy. White supremacist ideologies are now being perpetrated by us in our pseudo strength. In so much that it is manifesting itself in what is called black femicide. Over the past few weeks, too many black women have been killed by their intimate partners by a black man. It could be a former lieutenant governor. It could be a principal of a school. It could be a former first lady of a church who entrusted their lives into the hands of a black man. Just over the past 2 weeks. This past week, a man killed his wife and himself with his kids in the house. And I'm not talking about thugs. I'm not talking about guys in the hood. I'm not talking about pimps. I'm not talking about YNs. I'm talking about JDs, Esquires, doctors, former lieutenant governors. What is it that's happening with us black men? Well, how we've been raised and socialized has us devolving because we don't share the pressure we're under. Some of it has led to mental illness. Some of it has led to us thinking that we are better in a hierarchy, where we now view women as property and second-class citizens. I want to say to you, brothers, that it's okay to view your woman as your woman, my woman. It's okay to see that from a standpoint of relationship, but never ownership. Yeah, there's absolutely nothing wrong with you looking at her and say, who woman you is? Say mine, say mine, say mine. Tell me you mine. Tell me. Come on, y'all help me. Y'all get through love and endearment. Tell me who that belong to. It's yours. Say it. It's okay to say it from a perspective of love and endearment and romance. Come on, y'all help me preach. Don't act like you don't know what I'm talking about. But it's another thing when you are using that as a perspective and pronoun of ownership. Now, it's okay from relationship, but that woman is not yours as property. You don't put your hands on any woman unless she wants you to. Y'all got the brakes on, dude. Y'all got the brakes on, dude. Y'all make. I thought the ladies would say something. Nobody said nothing. The only time you put your hands on her is to lift her and to love her, never to lead her to a grave. And too many of us have normalized domestic violence because your daddy did it and your granddaddy did it. Just because they were foolish and crazy and sick don't mean you got to be crazy, foolish, and sick. How is it that a woman who held you down, black woman, went to dental school, had her own practice, involved in her community, took care of your kids, primary guardian, cook, care, financed, and then with the primary breadwinner, to let you stay in the house while she paid the bill, and you gonna take her life? If you got to beat a woman, you don't need to be with her. If you got to beat a woman, you need a psychologist and a psychiatrist and some healing to get yourself together. Because if your love can't keep it, your fist won't either. And I be doggone, you make your identity known for a woman or a man. And you want to die and kill yourself because of a man or a woman? How does a man kill a woman over a woman? With all these women around here, you don't think that life can go on with all these kings that God has provided? You want to die? It's because we can't handle pressure. And if you're in this room right now and you are physically abusing that woman you're with, I pray that God will knock you upside your head. I don't care how crazy she is. Leave. Even if she hits you first, you ain't got to hit her back. Just restrain her. Until times get better. But the best thing is don't put your hands on it at all. Just leave. And if you're a woman who's experiencing physical abuse, I challenge you today to know who you are, know your worth. And don't let no man keep putting his hands on you in a violent way. Don't you know who you are? I see some of y'all backed up off me, fellas. It's okay, I got your offering already. It's all right, back up off me. But until you do right by her, somebody help me this morning. Don't misinterpret. Don't misinterpret your pressure. Don't waste your pain. Number 3, can I give you another one? I'm almost done. Don't underestimate your potential. Verse 5. Check out verse 5. This thing blessed me. Paul says, for as the sufferings of Christ abound in us. This thing blessed me, y'all. Don't y'all make me run. For as the sufferings are in us, so our consolation also aboundeth by Christ. That thing blessed me, y'all. It's a juxtaposition. It's dichotomous in motif. It's a parallelism. He says, as the sufferings abound, so does the consolation. Here's the core idea. There is a divine balance that God operates in. Can I give you the divine balance? As suffering increases, so does grace. That's why you kept your equilibrium. It's a divine balance. Because of that dichotomous motif. It's abounding. Suffering is abounding, but comfort is abounding. Pressure is rising, but strength is rising. Paul told me to tell you the reason why you're here, you got your balance, your equilibrium, because of the dichotomy, because of the juxtaposition. Paul told me to tell you, brothers and sisters, you are built for what you've been battling. That's a good word for somebody. I said you are built for what you've been battling. Y'all still slow and sleepy. Nudge your neighbor, say, I don't know what you're going through, but whatever you're going through, the word is you are built for what you've been battling. And this is why you didn't put your shoes on your hands or your socks on your head. It didn't mean the pressure wasn't there. It just meant that as the pressure was rising on one side, the strength was rising on the other side. God gave you strength to handle the pressures of this life. And you all take a moment and give God praise that you still got your sanity. You still made it through cancer. You made it through termination. You made it through almost ending your marriage. You made it through your child losing their minds, because as the pressure was rising, the strength was rising too. We're 12 days away from May, and I can't tell you what's going to happen in May. Pressure may come in May, but can I bless you? When you get to May, God has already sprinkled grace in your May to help you handle the pressure while you're still in April. Give God praise that he knows. Yes, Lord, I feel you pushing me. Many things about tomorrow I may not understand, but I know who holds tomorrow. Oh, and I know who's holding my hand. Someone say, I'm built for what I've been battling. Don't misinterpret your pressure. Don't waste your pain. Don't underestimate your potential. You got someone inside of you. But number 4, I'm finished. I'm almost finished. Don't trust your own power. Don't trust in your own power. He says, now let me tell you this. Now you please got to get this because you won't get the purpose. He said, let me tell you about the purpose. Let me tell you about the pressure. He says, can I be honest with you? If I told you my pressure, will y'all judge me? I like Paul because Paul is able to be transparent. Sometimes in church, you can't be transparent. Yeah. See, I love being honest and open with y'all, and I will never lie to you. But some stuff I won't tell you. I'm afraid if I told you, you might see me differently. What if I told you that sometimes I don't like shaking your hand out the church? What if I told you that pastoring some of you could easily make me an alcoholic? Would you still respect? Would you pray more for me? Would you say, God, let Pastor have communion on the third Sunday only? Y'all so slow today, man. Y'all. I'm talking about the communion when you ain't got no crackers. Some of y'all know exactly what I'm talking about. What if I told you that sometimes I want to cuss somebody out? I see how some of y'all acting already. I see how you acting. One thing I'm not going to do is ever be fake. No, I'm not going to get up and act like I got it all together. I dot every I, I'll cross every T. I will cuss somebody out in Jesus' name. Sometime I want to put my hands on folk in Jesus' name. Am I talking to anybody who understands what I'm going through? And just because I'm the man of God does not mean that I don't have my own levels and moments of pressure. And Paul says, he said, let me tell you about my pressure. Verse 8, I was so pressed, it was out of measure. It was above my strength that I even despaired of life. I didn't want to live no more is what he said. I had the sentence of death on myself. But here is what I had to look at. There's a purpose in it. Whatever you face, God either authorizes it or allows it. Pressure can come from three main sources. Sovereignly introduced, satanically produced, self-induced. Sovereignly introduced, satanically produced, self-induced. Which means that some of my pressure ain't got nothing to do with y'all. Some pressure moments I got myself in. Okay, y'all quiet, y'all quiet. And need you come to the altar saying, God, they about to take my car. The enemy, no, it wasn't the enemy. God told you not to buy it. You knew you couldn't afford it when you bought it. That wasn't sovereign, satanic, that was self. You got diabetes and want pastor to lay his hands on you because you're sick. That wasn't God, that wasn't Satan, that wasn't sovereign, that was self. You knew not to eat 3 pork chop sandwiches last night with hot sauce on it. Some pressure situation I put myself in. And I have wanted to die because of the stuff I got myself in. I wish y'all talk to me here. Have you ever put yourself in a sling that you wanted just to die? You were so embarrassed by it, hurt by it, couldn't believe you did it. You wanted to die. Some of y'all gave yourself to zeros. Don't look at me like I'm the only one. No, you should be embarrassed you gave your body to him. You ought to be ashamed of yourself that you was in love with him. Yeah, him, the same him. You look at him now, 3 teeth in his mouth and one of them gold and a Jericho, and you gave yourself to him. I ain't going to somebody. Don't you judge me. Am I the only somebody in this house can understand some stuff is sovereignly introduced? Some stuff is satanically produced. Some stuff is self-induced. But here's what Paul says. No matter what caused the pressure, when I got into it, where I wanted to die, I had the sentence of death in my cells, it taught me something. I'm done. What did it teach you, Paul? That we should not trust in ourselves, but trust in God. Here's the idea. God will allow you to go through pressure that exceeds your strength in order to expose your dependence. God will allow you to go to pressure. He'll press you out of measure. This ain't normal pressure. This ain't manageable pressure. This is beyond me pressure. He said, I didn't just struggle, I despaired of life. I smiled publicly, I struggled privately. I functioned outwardly, I was falling apart inwardly. But here's the revelation. God either allows it or authorizes it, so I will stop trusting me. You got money, you got a plan, you got degrees, you got networks, you can live in suburbs now. Got flat screens, you got 3 cars. You can set your remote on your phone, you all highfalutin, you think you all that now, and yet the higher you gotten, the more you gotten away from God. All recent statistics say that people church attendance declined. Folks stopped going to church up until 3 years ago. And more in the past 2 years. Well, what's happened over the last 2 years? More folk are going to church since January 25. Sometimes God will allow pressure to let you see the stuff that you think you can depend on, to make you put your faith and your trust back in God. Could it be that sometimes God allows stuff? So when you finally run out of you, you can run into God. Oh, help me, Holy Ghost. I gotta close here now. He said, but when you run the pressure, verse 10, I'm finished. This thing shot at me. I ain't got time to deal with 5, but let me give you verse 10 to close. He says, so when you are going through pressure, so you stop trusting in yourself. He said, here's what God wants you to understand. He wants you to get this purpose. Here's why he did it, so you can come away with this realization. I know a God now, verse 10, who delivered us from so great a death, doth deliver us. And if I keep my trust in him, he will deliver me. Some of y'all can't shout because you don't understand the nomenclature of the verbs. Yeah, Paul uses different verbs in different aorist tense and indicative mood here in the Greek to really let you see the sequential nature of God's providence. As a matter of fact, he talks about God in 3 tenses. What he says is, when you understand pressure, you'll know 3 things about God. He is a God who hath delivered us. Past tense. He moves from past tense, hath delivered us, to delivers us. The tense there in Greek is present tense. So if I run the pressure, here's the understanding. He hath delivered me. He delivers. And just in case I run the pressure in the fall, he is going to be there, past tense, present tense, and future tense. So no matter what pressure you're in, you got a God who will deliver. Oh, I'm over my time here now. I got to close. I ain't going to take much longer, but shake a neighbor's hand and say, neighbor, yeah, there's a purpose in your pressure. Yeah, I don't know what you're going through. Maybe it's sovereign. Maybe it's satanic. Maybe it's self. But whatever your levels of pressure and whatever caused you to pressure, I'm closing with one word, but 3 tenses in English. Let the nomenclature talk to you. He's a God who hath delivered. He's a God who is delivering. Hey, and he's going to be a God who's going to deliver me tomorrow. Yeah. Shake your neighbor's hand and say, neighbor, I don't know what kind of pressure you're going through, but I came with a prophetic declaration. This is your exodus. So lift up your heads, O ye gates, and be ye lifted up, ye everlasting doors. And the King of glory shall come in. I say, who is the King of glory? The Lord, strong and mighty. Oh, the Lord mighty in battle. I say, lift up your heads, O ye gates, and be ye lifted up, ye everlasting doors, and the King of glory shall come in. Look at a neighbor for the last time on your left or right. Say, neighbor, I prophesy on April 19th that within the next 11 days, may God manifest deliverance in your life. But don't you wait until the battle's over. Go ahead. Why you shouting, Dewey? Because weeping may endure for the night. But shout. believe it, shout yes! Shout yes! Shout yes! Intake, y'all come. This is my exodus. This is my exodus. This is my exodus. Deacons, if you go ahead and get in place. Play it, Rick. Deacons, get in place for communion. Please, no walking. We're doing this. Two things we're going. Two things. Number one is the invitation. If you know you're disconnected from God, now let me tell you what's funny. This is not the sermon I prepared for today. The media team and I, we worked on another sermon all week, and I thought that was the one. And the Lord woke me up this morning and said, no, that's your sermon, not theirs. And what I've been studying devotionally, just for me, he said, take your notes, take your notes because I normally don't share with y'all what I'm doing in my own devotion. That's me and God. So I have two ways I study. One is for y'all, one is for me. Because what I found myself doing for a couple of years, I was spending time with God for y'all. I was studying to get a word. But I wasn't studying for my growth and my intimacy with him. You can have a powerful sermon, but a dry spiritual life. What good is it that God used my gift to bring you hope and deliverance and me, myself, not be delivered? So now I try to separate. This is what I do for y'all. This is what I do for me. And very rarely do I share with y'all. But this morning, 3 o'clock, God said, no, that's too good for you. I want you to share it with somebody else because somebody else other than me is under pressure. And I want you making no excuses for the men who are under pressure that take it out on their wives and children. And call it mental illness. I'm not devolving that. I'm not saying that's not real. But as a man, you need help. You sick. Now don't get me wrong. Sometimes that woman will make you sick. And vice versa. But it's a sickness where you just go in another room. It's a sickness where you just don't talk. You can't marry somebody they don't get on you, make you sick every now and then. I'm talking to you, yeah, I'm talking to all of y'all. And if you hear you've been married any good number of years, stop lying. That person you married to has made you sick sometimes, got on your nerves. That's normal. That's normal. That's relationship. Your children have made you sick. They got on your nerves. Folk you work with making you sick. That's relationship. There's a difference between a sickness that make you walk in another room because they got on your nerve temporarily. And you just got to breathe. But you go to a level where you got to be violent? No. No. I don't want to hear it. Don't put your hand on a woman. I want to hear it. She hit me first. I want to hear it. Pastor, I called her cheating. You went to counseling, did your best. She won't change, he won't change. Don't fight. Pastor, how I'm gonna live? It's cheaper to keep her. How I'm gonna take care of these kids by myself, Pastor? I need him. Ask your mama, can you come back home? Ask your grandmama. Ask your sister, she got a room. Keeping an image ain't worth your sanity. God had never told you to stay nothing abusive. Sometimes you're holding on to what you think is good, and God may have greater. Try to fix it. If you can't fix it, don't sing the OJs. Let's just kiss and say goodbye. You ain't got to play Lionel Richie, thanks for the time you've given me. Once, twice, 3 times later. No, you got to sing. You don't need no song. You don't even need closure. You want to close? Just go to Apple Music, Google, look up Donna Lawrence, featuring Leandra Johnson, and sing her this song. This is my. You ain't got to get on Facebook talking about them. You ain't got to. No. Make your exodus. Start over. The same God who brought you to this point, He hath delivered. He is delivering. Some of you saw your dad and your grandfather abusing women. Some of you are so weak that you think that's all I can control by whooping her. It's really your weakness. And there's some ladies around here. I got a few members, women who beat up their husband. Yeah, you think I don't know, but I know. Mm-hmm. Yeah, yes, yes. Yes, I know. They've told me. Mm-hmm. And it's only by grace of God having a reasonable pastor that they ain't went back upside your head. Keep your hands to yourself. If you ain't touching where they want to be touched, keep them to yourself. Some of you need to start over. You need Christ to come. Some of you need to make your exit from domestic violence. Make your exit into anger management. Make your exit from your frat brothers and happy hour and make your entrance into a therapist's couch to heal what's in you. If you're here, the best place to start is with Jesus. I'm over my time, but I feel the Lord. I don't want to see another woman's picture. Now we become the slave masters, raping and whooping them in order to control them. So that you pull your whip out, trying to make her say Tobina rather than Contarina. Yeah. She's Contarina. You trying to make her Tobirina. Some of y'all still missing. Y'all so slow this morning. Ask your auntie when you get home what are you talking about. But it's in roots, just in case you ain't seen it. I just inverted it. Maybe you got some toxicity in your relationship. Maybe it's not physical, but it's verbal. Here's the thing. You think you're doing the kids a favor by staying. I'm not saying divorce doesn't have ramifications, but a kid would much rather be in a happy single home than a toxic, sick one with two parents that don't even speak and can't love and set the right example. How long is it going to stay toxic? I'm not going to ask you, do you love them? I'm going to ask you, do you like them? Because some of you folk, you got to love them. You got to love your enemies. What happens if you don't even like your spouse? You get sick when the garage come up when they come home. They become your roommate. You changed on her. Don't take her nowhere. Don't spend time with her. Never take her to dinner. Don't take her on vacation. Don't date her. Don't court her. No flowers. What you did to get her, you changed. And she changed on you. Trying to get you, she puts perfume on, fixed herself up. Wouldn't eat but 2 hot wings when you took her out. Always put lotion on her body and be shining and smelling. She twist it and drop it, back it up. And now you about to get testicular cancer because ain't nothing coming up out of there. You laughing at me, I'm telling you, this is medical science I'm talking about. While it may be humorous, I'm telling you the truth. What do you need God to deliver you from? Relationally, financially? Who is it? You got 11 more days. I want you to make your request. Now, right before we go, if you're not saved, don't have Jesus, don't have a church home, you need baptized. I know, Andre, you keep telling me, be quiet. I gotta sit. I'm gonna let you go, but I'm telling the truth. Find the lie. Just find the lie. Show me when I lied, I'll be quiet. Until then, stay in your place. Stay in your place. That's the first lady. This is what happens when you get somebody at a birthday party and last Sunday, she become the pastor the next Sunday. But that's all right. It's okay.
Listen, I want to thank you for tuning in, and I hope that you know that no matter where you are, who you are in life, that pressure does follow our human experience. And pressure can be intense, but just know this, through the help of God, when pressure becomes intense, so does God's favor and grace. I don't know what you're going through, but though pressure can bust a pipe, it's not going to bust your pipe because it's going to give you purpose. And God's going to use the pressure in your life so that you can become comfort to others. Now listen, if you're watching today and you are a survivor or you're dealing with domestic violence, what I want to do, there's a number on the screen. If you're in a domestic violence situation, I want you to call the number on the screen right now. Get help. It is not the will of God for you to spend your life in abuse. And so if you're a victim, you've been victimized by domestic violence, I want you to call the number on the screen right now. And if you are an abuser, and you're under pressure and it is manifesting itself in ways that'll make you more violent, I want you to reach out to the church. You can go to the website, www.hohatl.org, and I want you to send us an email. I want to get you some help. You can reach out to our prayer line. If that's you, I want to pray for you because there's grace even for those of you who are struggling. So if you are struggling with it, reach out to the church, prayer requests, and let us know. Be transparent, and we'll point you in the right direction. Because I don't want you to know that's grace for you. I don't want you to end up like so many others. Let the grace and favor of God come into your life and bring healing to you. Whether you have been abused or whether you are an abuser, there's hope for you as well. God can change your life. He did it for Paul. He'll do it for you. Thanks for tuning in today. Until next time, remember this. If you'll be good to God, God will be good to you. Peace.